Hi, this is Usha. Welcome to Rathod's IAS classes. In this lecture, we are going to discuss current affairs of 4th April 2021. In this lecture, we are going to discuss 6 topics which are very much relevant to UPSC. So, let's get started with our discussion and let us see first article. Title says steps taken to curb cross-border voting. So, this article mainly talking about cross-border voting. So what is meaning of this cross-border voting? So if you see, whenever there is any boundary that is present between two states here. So we are talking about here voting, right? So if you are talking about any boundary between two states. So if there is any forest area which is present here, right? So what happened in this forest area, we can see tribals are present. So these tribal people, they move in this forest. So if at all this forest which is present across borders of two states, so these people, they will move inside forest, right? So they are crossing this border. So they are moving here and they are moving here. So in this area, they are mainly having their habitats, right? So because of this, so tribal people who are present in this area. So whenever we are seeing voting list of this state 1 and this state 2, sometimes these people are seen in this both voter list of state 1 and state 2. So this is one of important problem we are facing. So this type of movement of people from one state to another state and in this way, whenever they are participating in elections of those two states, so this is called as a cross-border voting. I hope you understand what is meaning of this cross-border voting, right? So now let us try to see why it is in use and what are steps which are going to be taken to curb this cross-border voting. So this article will be important regarding GS paper 2 under polity. So this topic will be very important regarding mains point of view. Okay, I want to give you small homework. So you have to refer some facts regarding this Election Commission of India. So if you open your Polity Lakshmikant book, there is one separate chapter under constitutional bodies, that is Election Commission of India. So you have to see this for sure, because you can expect some prelims based questions from this Election Commission of India in your prelims. So now let us see this article in a great detail. So if you see context, it mainly says that a petition filed, okay. So this petition mainly seeking to stop dual voting by persons, so who are mainly present in voter list of Kerala as well as Tamil Nadu here, okay. So the petition mainly filed in court to stop this dual voting by persons, so those persons who are under voter list of both Kerala and Tamil Nadu. So in this context, Election Commission of India informed Kerala High Court that steps they have been taken to prevent this cross-border voting, mainly in some constituencies like Devikulam and as well as Udumbachola and Perumade. So in these constituencies, there is problem of this cross-border voting is seen. Mainly to prevent that, what are steps which are taken by Election Commission of India? So those are informed to Kerala High Court in this context. So now let us see what are steps taken by this Election Commission of India to curb this cross-border voting. So first one is special teams of Forest Department. They were deployed to conduct checking in interior parts of forest. And next one is they also utilize some CCTV surveillance system to prevent such cross-border voters entering constituencies. And police forces, they have been deployed on borders and major roads for prevention of unauthorized entry. So these are some important steps taken by Election Commission of India to prevent or to curb this cross-border voting. So this is just of this article, and now let us see next article. So this article mainly talking about mice mines. Okay, mice mines. So this article mainly talking about one important disease, that is schizophrenia. So this schizophrenia, it is mental disorder. So whenever we are studying this mice minds, so when we are understanding how this mind is working, so in this way we can also go for treatment or treatment therapies for this schizophrenia by using this mice. So this is some important background of this article. So this article will be important regarding science and technology. So I am repeatedly saying that don't leave this Sunday's edition. this Sunday's paper will be important to cover news from science and technology point of view. So this is important source to cover the science and technology point of view. So students who are leaving this Sunday paper, please don't leave this, okay? Because science and technology is very important to write GS mains also, and even in prelims you can expect this science and technology questions for sure. Okay, and now let us try to understand this article in a great detail. So this article mainly talking about schizophrenia. So if you see context, new study by Washington University researchers, they studied about how hallucinations take place in brains of mice. So this study mainly studied by using some computer games. Both mice and as well as even human can play this games, okay? So after this study, they mainly found that they established some similarity in mice and as well as human brains. And this study studied biology of hallucinations in brain of mice. And finally, this study also helped in developing therapies for this schizophrenia also. And now let us see about this schizophrenia. So in science and technology, you have one topic like communicable and non-communicable diseases. So whenever any disease which comes in news, and this is one of favorite area of UPSC. So you have to know about details of that disease which appear in newspaper. So if you're talking about this schizophrenia, it is a mental disorder. So this mental disorder characterized by some profound disruptions. They include disruptions in thinking, affecting language, and it also affect perception of things and also sense of self. It affects more than 21 million people which are present across the world. So if you're talking about causes might be genetic and also some environment factors. If you're talking about onset of this disease, it typically begins in late adolescent or early adulthood age. So what will be impact? So whenever we are getting this schizophrenia, we will see some hallucinations. That means we might think that already happened, okay? So we can see some hallucinations and we can see delusions, repeated speaking, and reduced ability to understand any information and reduced ability to take any decisions. That is, decision making capability will be decreased. And there is also trouble in focusing and as well as paying attention. So these will be some impact which is seen on people who are suffering from this schizophrenia. And what is treatment? Schizophrenia, it is a treatable disorder. So we can provide some therapy and support to patients who are suffering from this schizophrenia. So whenever we are providing treatment and as well as support, this will help to patients to learn some social skills, to cope with stress, and as well as we can also identify early warning signs also. So these are some important things that should remember regarding this article. And now let us see next article. Title says IIT Kanpur develops touch sensitive watch for visually impaired. So this article mainly talking about touch sensitive watch. This will be very much useful for visually impaired people. So this article will be again important regarding science and technology, which comes under GS paper 3. And you can use this type of article as a case study, that is importance of science and technology in our daily life. So we can use this science and technology for this differently able persons, okay? So to assess this differently able people, or we can say some handicapped people, so this science and technology will be very useful, and it will be very useful to make them empowered, okay? And now let us try to talk about this article in a great detail. So this article mainly talking about touch sensitive watch. So if you see context why it is in news, because two researchers from IIT Kanpur, they developed a touch sensitive tactile haptic watch. So this will be very helpful for visually impaired people to learn what time it is. They can go and they can touch their watch face, then they can know about how much time that is happening at that time. So if you see some drawbacks of watches, already this is not a first watch, but we also have some touch sensitive watches that are present that will be useful for this visually impaired people. But there are some disadvantages of those watches. First one is there is lack of privacy. Whenever they are going for touching of these watches, so this time will be announced publicly, okay, audibly announcement of time that is seen here. So because of this, it is also some lack of privacy. For example, if they are going to any silent area, whenever they are touching their watch, then it will leads to some noise, right? So because of this, it will also some lack of privacy. And next one is, if you see this touch sensitive watches, they are of large size. So these are some drawbacks of already watches which are present for this visually impaired people. So if you're talking about details of this watch, so whenever these visually impaired people, whenever they are going and touching this watch face here, so it will convey times in form of vibrations. For example, if there is time which is happening 6 or 6:30, then there will be long vibration that is seen. For example, it is 1, there will be only short vibration, okay? So when a person touches the right spoke of face of this watch, then he or she, they can feel vibrations, okay? So researchers, they also developed a prototype smartwatch. So this smartwatch will also tell time and will also measures vital health parameters of person who are wearing that. So this is about this article. And now let us see next article. Title says researchers 4th Street trends in diphtheria incidence. So this article again talking about one important disease, that is diphtheria. So this article will be very important again regarding science and technology. In science and technology, we have one topic like non-communicable and communicable diseases. So this diphtheria mainly caused by bacteria. Name of that bacteria is Corynebacteria diphtheria. Okay, so you have to remember this. So this diphtheria mainly caused by bacteria, not by virus or not by protozoa or amoeba. It is caused by bacteria. So in this way, you have to be very clear regarding this diseases which is caused by either virus or bacteria or any parasites. So now let us try to talk about this article in a great detail. So if you are talking about context, why it is in news? It is in news because researchers from India, UK and Russia, they analyzed a large collection of 502 genomes. They are collected from 16 countries and they are collected over 122 years of bacteria. So in this study, they mainly found that there is increase in incidence of diphtheria. So mainly because of we are seeing some diversity in this species. So it is one important reason that is contributing to increased incidence of diphtheria. And second important reason is there is emergence of variant toxin genes, and we can also see antibiotic resistance. It is one of important reason. And also there is some progression of antimicrobial resistance. That means if you see, there are 3 important reasons for increasing incidence of diphtheria. So first one is there is increased diversity of species. Next one is there is emergence of various toxin genes, and there is also progression of antimicrobial resistance. So these are 3 important reasons for increasing incidence of this diphtheria. So if you see some facts regarding this diphtheria, so this diphtheria, it is a severely communicable, that means it can be transmitted from one person to another person easily, and it is mainly caused by bacteria. So it is a bacterial infectious disease. So bacteria which is causing this diphtheria is Corynebacterium diphtheriae. Okay, so let us see how this disease will progress. So after this bacteria entering into person, okay, so what happened, it will leads to some inflammation of mucous membrane. Okay, from here to here in this nasal cavity, so we are having mucous membrane. So this mucous membrane will be inflamed. So we can see some inflammation in our mucous membrane. So after inflammation, we can see a false membrane that is formed on this mucous membrane. Okay, so because of this formation of this false membrane, so whenever we are swallowing our food, whenever we are breathing, so what happened, because of this false membrane, that will lead to some difficulty. It will create some problem to patient. And now if you are talking about prevention, is it a preventable disease? Yes, absolutely. So it is a preventable disease. We have vaccine. So name of that vaccine is DTP actually. So this is diphtheria, tetanus and pertussis vaccine. So this to be given to children at 6 months of age, 12 to 18 months and as well as 14 to 16 years. So it is one shot vaccine that will be given at age of 6 months, 12 to 18 months and also 6 to 4 years. And if you see some pathophysiology regarding this diphtheria usually begins with angina. Angina means it is a kind of some chest pain like thing that we see here. Okay, and not only angina, that is chest pain, we also suffer tonsillitis like symptoms, like we can see some sore throat and as well as mild fever like thing, right? So later on, diphtheria toxin, which mainly causes inflammation to our heart muscles. It will also leads to myocarditis. So this myocarditis, it is one of important reasons for death in this diphtheria. Okay, so if we are not going for proper treating of this diphtheria, whenever we are not providing any antitoxin to this diphtheria, whenever we are not providing any proper antibiotics here, so in this case it will also leads to death. And if you see data regarding this diphtheria, so there is an increasing trend in number of cases of diphtheria globally. And if you're talking about 2018, we recorded about 16,651 cases. And if you're seeing average from 1996 to 2017, it is just 8,105. So after 1 year, we can see there is doubling of diphtherial cases. So it is one of cause of concern. So if you want to understand epidemiology, that means in which area there is high number of cases. So to understand this epidemiology of disease, we need to study about gene of antimicrobial resistance. To which antibiotics there is resistance that is seen in this diphtheria. And we need to understand about this tox gene which is produced by this diphtheria. And we need to know microorganism evolution in time, how it is adapted to environment, and as well as we need to understand about this geographical spread of this diphtheria causing bacteria. And we need to know about whether there is antimicrobial resistance that is seen to the sulfonamide, aminoglycoside, chloramphenicol and trimethoprim. So these are commonly prescribed antibiotics for this diphtheria. Okay, so this is gist of this article. And before seeing this next article, I want to make a small announcement on this platform. We came up with this current affairs package course along with mains answer writing practice. So this course will be exclusively useful for students who want to appear in 2022. So why only 2022? Because before getting into examination hall, you need to cover at least 1.5 years current affairs. So if you join this course now, and it is right time to cover 1.5 years current affairs in a comprehensive manner. And we are also focusing on mains answer writing practice. So if you're talking about this mains answer writing practice, it is a very important key to clear UPSC mains. So many students who are beginners, especially who are freshers, they will ignore about this answer writing practice. Even though if they clear prelims, but they cannot clear mains if there is no proper answer writing skills. Okay, so we are exactly focusing on this, how to improve your answer writing skills in this program. And if you join this course, we also provide you prelims test every weekend along with video solutions. So in this way, this course is exactly focusing on demand of UPSC. So one thing I want to say here, please don't take this course as a choice. Please try to join this course. So details are given in description box, and if you want to talk to me directly, so you can talk to me on this number 8074765513. Okay, please note this number. And now let us see next article. Title says how Asian desert dust enhances Indian summer monsoon. So if you're talking about this monsoon, it is one of important thing, because as we know, India is agriculture economy, right? So as we know, we are mainly dependent on agriculture. So most of this agriculture of India depended on rain, that is rain-fed agriculture that is commonly seen across our country. So we get rains from the southwest monsoons. So in this southwest monsoon, we can see wind direction that is changing. So whenever winds which are moving from sea to land here, they will bring moisture and that will cause rainfall here. So we can say the southwest monsoon that will bring rainfall to India, right? So in this monsoon, this article mainly says that recent study says, so Asian desert dust will also plays an important role that will enhance our Indian summer monsoon. So now let me talk about this dust. So what is role of dust? So if you see, whenever there is water is present, right? So we have water surface and we are having thick summer, okay? So during summer season, whenever we are having extensive insolation or high amount of heat is present, so because of this heat, what happened? Water will be evaporated. So what happens whenever water is evaporated? They will move up as vapor. So whatever water is evaporated, the vapor will go upside. So whenever we have any dust particles which are present here, so to this dust particles the water will be attached, and finally that leads to condensation. So after condensation, what happens? It will leads to precipitation, right? So this is one important role of dust. And second important role of dust here is, so whenever dust is there, right? So whenever there are winds are moving, so whenever dust is moving in this direction, then what happen here? Dust have ability to take more insolation. That means it will absorb insolation, it will absorb heat. So because of capacity of dust here to increase or to absorb heat here, that will leads to increase in atmosphere temperature. So because of this atmosphere temperature which is increasing, that will lead to creation of low pressure area. So because of creation of low pressure area, winds from high pressure area that will move towards low pressure area. So whenever winds are moving from high pressure to low pressure area, whenever they are carrying any moisture, that will leads to formation or that will leads to precipitation in that area. So these are two important roles which are played by this dust, okay, in regarding Indian monsoon. So this is the thing which is discussed in this article. Now let us try to see in a very great detail. So this article mainly talking about Indian summer monsoon. So if you see context, it mainly says that new study studied about how dust which is coming from deserts in West, Central and East Asia plays an important role in Indian monsoon, okay, Indian summer monsoon. So what is role played by deserts which are present in West, Central and as well as East Asia? So if you are talking about Asia, here we have India. So here we have Arabian desert, here we have Turkmenistan desert, and here we have Gobi desert, right? So as we know, whenever this seasonal reversal of winds, they will move in this direction, right? So whenever winds are moving, they will carry dust which is present in this area's desert, right? So because of this, we can see there is increasing atmosphere temperature that will leads to creation of low pressure such that more winds are attracted in this direction, okay? So if you see some details regarding this study, it mainly says that Indian summer monsoon which have reverse effect and it will increase winds in West Asia. So whenever winds are moving in this West Asia, that will lead to production of more dust. So this dust, they have ability to absorb solar radiation and they will further become more hot. So because of this dust which is becoming hot, that will lead to heating of atmosphere. That will also lead to changes of air pressure, and we can also see some wind circulation patterns also changes. Finally, it will influence moisture transport also. Finally, because of all these changes, there will be increase in rainfall or precipitation in this India. Okay, so this is about this article. So it is one of positive feedback loop that is seen. So not only this, even Iranian plateau. So the Iranian plateau also have some important role on our Indian monsoons. So this Iranian plateau that can heat atmosphere over plateau, that will finally strengthen the circulation over desert of Arabian Peninsula. That will lead to increase in dust emission from Middle East. So if you're talking about some examples to understand role of deserts here. So first one is aerosols from deserts in West China, that is Talkman desert and as well as Gobi desert. They will transport this dust towards east side, that is towards East China. That will influence mainly East China summer monsoon. And not only this, even USA also in southern western area. That means here in this part, okay, if you see USA here, so in this area we have desert. So we have some small deserts which are present in this area. That will also lead to some influence of North African monsoon in USA. So now let us try to understand map. I tried my level best to represent map here. So in this way you have to draw map in your exam. So because of that, maximum I am trying to draw maps only. So this is handwritten map that is done by me itself. So now let us see some deserts which are present. So here red shaded areas we have normally deserts, right? So if you're talking here in southwestern area of USA, we have this great desert, okay, Great Basin desert. So it will have some influence on this northern monsoon of USA. And here we have Peruvian desert, and here we have Patagonian desert, And here in this area we have Kalahari and Namib Desert. So here we have Sahara Desert, and here this is West Asia. So in this area we have Arabian Desert, and here we have Turkestan Desert, and in India we have Great Indian Desert here, and finally in China here we have Gobi Desert, and Australia in this part we see deserts are present. So in this way you need to represent maps wherever it is necessary in your answer. And now let us see next article. So title says, what is driving the second wave in India? So this article mainly focusing on second wave. Already we studied about context of this article in our yesterday's lecture, right? So yesterday we saw there is more than 82,000 cases are reported here, and today's paper it is saying more than 92,000, right? So there is increase in number of cases that are seen in India. So this article mainly talking about what are reasons for rising of cases in this second wave. So this article will be important again regarding health, which comes under GS paper 2. And this article will be important from both prelims and also even mains. Now let us try to understand this article. So this article mainly talking about the second wave of COVID-19. So if you see context, it mainly says that there is steady increase in daily fresh cases of this COVID-19 that are registered across our country. So if you are talking about in first wave in September, we saw there are peak cases, right? So in that time, even there is no restriction on movement, winter season that arrived at that time, and there is onset of festival season, and there are some large gatherings because of this festival season. And there is not so good adherence of mask wearing and as well as other non-pharmaceutical interventions which were taken by people. So they did not cause, those are reasons which did not cause to spike of cases in September. But now we are seeing there is large amount of cases that are recorded on everyday basis, right? So what might be reasons for this second wave? So this article mainly talked about three important factors that are mainly regarding virus, host factors and environment factors. So now let us try to understand these three factors. So first one is virus. So regarding this virus, we are seeing new variants are coming, and there are many mutations that are happening in virus. For example, we have UK virus. Regarding this UK virus, there is high increased transmissibility also. And there is Brazil virus, South African virus, and in India we are seeing double mutant virus. So because of this new variants, there may be increase in transmissibility. And next one is more infections are seen because they can be very much immune to whatever therapies we are using here. And next one is host factors. So already people who had infections in COVID-19 during lockdown, so might be antibodies which are present in those bodies after 6 months they went off. So because of this, those people who already affected with this coronavirus, they are again reinfecting. So this is one important reason. And next one is if people who are not following this COVID-19 appropriate behavior like wearing of mask, maintaining of physical distance and hand washing strategy. So whenever they are not following this, they will also get this coronavirus. And next one is there is incomplete vaccination. So because of this vaccine hesitancy here, many people they are not coming forward to take this vaccines, right? So this is also one of important reason or important host factor. And now let us talk about this environment factors. For example, we can say there is super spreader events. That means if there is one person who is not having any symptoms or signs and symptoms of this COVID-19, but he is infected with this coronavirus. So whenever he is going in a group or whenever he is going for group gathering, or whenever this person is a vegetable seller or in that area, then he can have ability to transmit this virus to large amount of people. So these are called as super spreader events. And next one is there is misconception that vaccination prevents even infection. Okay, so this is also one important thing. And next one is there is poor compliance with preventive measures. So these are some important environmental factors that are leading to increase in or rise of this COVID-19 cases in the second wave. So this is gist of this article. I hope it is clear. And now let us see today's essay. Today is Sunday, right? So if you see essay, patriarchy is the least noticed yet the most significant structure of social inequality. So this is such a good topic and you can write a best essay on this patriarchy. and this topic is important from social issues, okay, society point of view. And try to write essay, and you should not cross more than this 750 words, and you have to write this essay within 1.5 hours. Okay, so try to write this essay. So by this we are concluding today. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. Please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to like, share and comment my videos. And don't forget to enroll this current affairs package. Thank you so much.